Yes, it is high school football championship time, pep rally time, sponsored by BMW of Des Moines. Tony Anzetti, Larry Kotler here to get us up to speed on what in the world is going on high school championship football-wise. So what in the world is going on?
Oh, we got three champions crowned yesterday. Yep. We'll have to wait till Monday now to find out who the other three are because of the impending storm. And I think a perfect job by the Iowa High School Athletic Association. Safety first, and teams. There's a couple teams coming up from your neck of the woods in northwest Iowa, and then Dowling Catholic from here. That travel's dangerous. If you've been on Highway 20 across that way, and if it's bad out, you don't want to be on Highway 20. So good job to postpone those games until Monday for the other three titles. But, well, Marcus Merritt and Cleghorn did it, huh?
Let's talk, A player first. I think we have some video to show. I'm just excited. They're right next to where I grew up, and you always want to support your home ground and whatnot. But they were able to hoist that trophy up high yesterday, undefeated for the season.
Cool helmets, I might add.
Yep,
those are sharp.
And Don Bosco started out 14-0. Looked like what I thought was going to happen.
Right.
Then,
they came out strong.
All of a sudden,
look at the score. 57-52.
It was a fun game to watch because they came out strong, and the next thing MMC was coming back, and you're like, okay, they have this in the bag. Next thing you know, Don Bosco, we're still here, and it's like, oh, what's going to happen?
Best thing for MMC is the clock ran out. Don Bosco was coming back quickly.
They were.
So it was a great football game, and Marcus Merritt and Cleghorn won the title in 12, so they added one here in 15. So and now they go to Class A next year because they're consolidating with Remsen Union, so they'll be the Royals next year. So as they consolidate that school district, but a real nice game there. And then
the kids spec 7 touchdowns.
Yeah, and they said that was state
spec threw for 293 yards and 7 touchdowns and ran for another 140 yards. So I mean that's pretty good numbers.
That's impressive.
Yes, very impressive.
I think it was all those blonde mohawks they were all sporting.
Glenn Ralston, I think they did exactly. Boy, what a game plan they had with Akron Westfield. They really forced their secondary, their defensive line, all the pressure. That passing game of Akron Westfield suffered immensely, and Glenn Ralston had Stokes, and they just ran him down everybody's throat, and they just played a fantastic game to win the title in that Class A.
Yeah, how about Eric Stokes? I mean, he starts out with an 80-yard run. He had touchdown runs of 52, 53, 21 for the night. 282 yards on 25 carries and 4 touchdowns. That's over 11 yards per carry.
Wow.
That's pretty impressive.
And then Pella, I've got their shirt on again.
Hey, there you go.
But Pella does it again. I mean, they beat Norwalk the only time Norwalk lost this year at 21-0. This game kind of mirrored that, especially in the first half, because I think it was 7-0. The first game they played at 7-7 in this one, and it was a battle. And then Norwalk had a couple mistakes that hurt them, and Pella took advantage of it. And once they got that 21-7 lead, they just kind of went 17-7 lead and 24-7. It was pretty much over. Norwalk battled hard, came back strong. Their defense was really did a really good job overall, but too much depth with that Pella Dutch team, and they go back to back.
Who's the stud on the Pella team that was a quarterback, and then he turns around and plays defense and gets a sack right away?
Noah Clayburgh.
Yeah, Clayburgh is, and he's got some looks, but no Division I looks, because he's what you call an athlete. He's a football player, and I don't, he may not be a quarterback for a future team, but you can put him anywhere, and he's gonna stand out. So I'm surprised that a Division I school hasn't looked at him. Maybe it's because of his size, because he ain't the biggest. But you know what? You open up the chest, he's still a football player. He had an outstanding career at Pella. And, I mean, that's a school known more for basketball. In the last couple of years, they go back to back in football. So congratulations to the Little Dutch on that championship. They kept calling them the Dutch. That's Central. They are the Little Dutch.
Little Dutch. Get it right.
Little Dutch. All right, what about the Monday's game? Not today's game, but Monday's game. What are we looking at?
Well, of course, in Class A, 1A,
Iowa City.
You
start with Regina?
Yeah, they're going for their 6th straight championship.
Marv Cook and company.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Up against Western Christian of Hall, who's going to find out what basketball turned football program looks like against Regina. I think Regina may have played, and I don't like saying that because you still have to play the game, and you saw what happened yesterday with MMC. They won the game, and people pretty much, like me, had Don Bosco winning it. But Iowa City Regina's got such tradition, and Western Christian Hall's never been here before, and that's a big advantage. And these kids have seen the the Iowa City Regina program under Marv Cook, have seen this happen before they got there, and now they're playing that same game, so they're used to this. Well, Western Christian's not, so I think that's a huge advantage for the Regals.
And the thing about Regina, the only game they lost, they were up 35-0 in that game.
Against a 3A team in
Cedar Rapids,
and then
Cedar Rapids Xavier, and they end up losing 38-35.
Whoa.
But, the Marv Cook, and I've known Marv for a long time, one of the things that he always says, he says, every game, you're always focused on every game. You never come out flat. I mean, he really gets them focused. And if they lose a game, man, it's like then they're going to go out and win 20 more, because that's what he does. Now, I think, Tony, we've talked about this. They may not be as talented as some of those previous Regina teams, but they're still awfully good.
Yeah, what about 2A?
Well, in 2A, you got Spirit Lake, and they're going to be
Mount
taking on
Vernon. There we
Mount
go.
Vernon.
The
Mount Vernon's got a
Mustangs.
couple losses, but they've played a strong schedule. So if you look at that 2 losses and you think, well, Spirit Lake's undefeated, this game's over.
No.
Not so fast, my friend, is your buddy over there.
Mustangs are winning this one, just so you know.
Okay,
Just so
that's
you know,
good.
Mustangs are winning this one.
I think it's going to be a great
Okay.
football game, but Spirit Lake has had a lot of tradition over the years. They've won a state title. They've been at that dome a few times other than this year, so that tradition's there. But Mount Vernon used to have a huge tradition back in the days, back in the 70s and 80s, but kind of fell off the table, so good to see them back, and that's good for the school. And then, of course, 4A.
4A.
Yeah.
Dowling
Maroons
Catholic.
of Dowling trying to go again.
And how about Cedar Rapids Kennedy knocking off Bettendorf?
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that was a very big win for them. That was a nice win for them. Obviously, the story with Dowling Catholic is defense.
It's 2 physical teams,
Yeah,
really.
very
Kennedy's
much so.
core is defense as well. Dowling's going to make them one-dimensional, and that's a bad sign for Kennedy because they need to be balanced in this football game. But Dowling's just really good on the defensive side. You can talk about all their offensive numbers, but in the big games, they shut down people. And look what they did to Valley. They made them one-dimensional. They stopped the run. They stopped the quarterback from being able to run, forced the passing game only. And when you can sit back on defense and play one way as far as what the other team's going to do to you, it makes it a lot easier. And Dowling does that to everybody they play. So.
You know what's interesting? If Dowling wins, and I think they will, and I don't know, we don't usually make predictions, but they would be the first 4A team to win 3 straight state titles.
Awesome.
And that's hard to believe. You would think somebody else might have
Yeah,
somewhere
right.
starting back,
Wow.
in the 70s, since they kept track, but they'd be the first one. And like I said, their defense is just terrific.
Well, they're going for their 6th title after being, before that, they started winning in 2000 there.
Yep.
They had played 7 championship games and finished runner-up 7 straight times before that.
You
And
got
now all of a
practice.
sudden, now they're looking for their 6th school title. So
All right,
good.
there
You know
you
what
go.
they give up yards? They give up 2.5 yards per play. Think about that.
Really quickly, because we need to come back and talk college sports,
Sure.
is having a couple of days because they're expecting to play today, so their mind was in the game to play today. Is it going to throw any of these teams that they have to wait a couple days now?
No, not especially
no change.
because they're not going to go up there and then have to come back, and
Right.
that would be the worst part of it.
If they
Getting them
got
up
up there,
there,
then
coming
change their
back
mind.
Okay.
because they have school. No, I think everything's going to be
be-
business as usual.
Okay.
And probably get to lick a few more wounds off them.
There you go.
So they might be in better shape.
Better shape.
All right, we are going to pay a couple of bills, and we are going to come back. We're talking college football next, and where you can hear or see these guys as well when we return to Great Day.